Thank you, Landry. Following the removal of a recently controversial School of Art senior thesis, Kent State's president has issued a message via email. Daikin said how Kent upholds the right to free speech as granted in the Constitution and is glad the university artists reached a constructive outcome. He ended the message by reiterating that the artwork was voluntarily removed and quickly done.
We have breaking news as political activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at a rally at the University of Utah. Turning Point USA's Kirk's political organization confirmed the shooting earlier today, and President Donald Trump confirmed his death soon after on Truth Social.
If we continue with updates, an officer-involved shooting in Akron. The scene of the incident started with an intoxicated man pointing a gun at multiple people in a parking lot. When officers arrived on the scene, one of them fired at the suspect. Police provided aid before paramedics arrived to transport the individual to a local hospital. The officer has been placed on paid administrative leave.
Get the updates on Taylor Swift's docuseries when we come back.
Thank you, Jenny. Around 100 Ohio National Guard members were deployed Sunday to the U.S. Central Command for Operation Spartan Shield. The operation focuses on strengthening a military presence in Southwest Asia and improve defensive relationships. The National Guard members were recognized in a ceremony at Dublin-Kaufman High School Sunday afternoon to honor their deployment.
As a Facebook post from the city of Cleveland spread the news, the filming was at the Hyatt Regency Cleveland at the Arcade and proceeded toward East 9th Street. However, the post did not entail what project was being filmed.
Thank you, Maddox. Spotify Wrapped is out for this year, and music nerds everywhere are sharing their lists.
This morning, the Vatican announced Pope Francis died at the age of 88. The pontiff was elected in 2013 following the resignation of Pope Benedict XVI.
Pope Francis, his real name was Jorge Mario Bergoglio, was born in Argentina and was the first non-European pope in nearly 1,300 years. Cardinals from around the globe meet in Rome to mourn the Pope's death and elect his successor.
Earlier today, students received an email that lists a link of the annual security report. Every year, universities are required to publish a summary of the reported crimes on or near their campus. Because Kent State offers student housing, this report also contained an annual fire safety report that detailed policy statements and fire statistics. This report is to help make Kent State a safer place.
Similar to kindness, the university is offering some lessons in peace. Tomorrow, Taylor Hall will be opening the exhibit titled Teach the Peace, The Life and Legacy of Jerry Lewis at 5 p.m. Lewis is a professor at Kent and faculty marshal during May 4th. His experience led him to dedicate his remaining career to this part of Kent's history, and the exhibit will reflect this. For those who can't attend tomorrow, the Lewis exhibit will run through June 3rd.
After a shooting occurred at Bar Lucci on Thursday, Jack Macy's trial will be taking place. Learn more about the details and the impact of this case.
Cleveland had a mayoral race yesterday. Learn more about the person who won.
The government is still in a shutdown, making the longest government shutdown in history. Learn more about how this is impacting citizens.
Today I'm outside to bring you your current weather conditions. With all this and more, Kent Stater TV starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good Wednesday evening, Portage County, and welcome to tonight's newscast at 6. I'm Evan Schofield.
And I'm Ryan Mead. Thank you for joining us.
The man accused of shooting inside Bar Lucci was in court today. 19-year-old Jack Massey of Akron appeared via video for his bond hearing in Portage County Common Pleas Court.
Massey has been charged with felonious assault for the incident Thursday night and pled not guilty. Prosecutors argued for a $250,000 bond because of Massey's gang affiliation and the fact that he is on probation for a previous conviction for felonious assault.
Records from Summit County Court show Massey was just released from prison on October 8th after serving approximately 3 years. Massey remains in the Portage County Jail as the investigation into the Bar Lucci shooting continues.
Police are asking anyone with information to contact the Kent Police Department. He is scheduled to be in court again on Friday for a preliminary hearing.
Yesterday, tragedy struck in Louisville, Kentucky as a UPS cargo plane crashed shortly after its takeoff, leaving a trail of fire. Officials confirmed at least 9 people have died, with others severely injured. The death toll has the ability to climb the more the investigation continues. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear declared a state of emergency to get additional National Guard units on the scene. Louisville area schools were shut down and now are set to reopen tomorrow. Now, for those of you who don't know, last night, election night, where voting was as crucial as ever. My partner Ryan Mead has more on the latest in Portage County and more. Ryan?
Thanks, Evan. With yesterday being Election Day, we had many interesting and important elections in our area. Now let's recap what occurred and the results of yesterday's elections. About a quarter of registered voters in Portage County cast their votes yesterday on November 4th election. Brimfield voters elected Kevin Scott and Nicholas Kolja for township trustees out of 7 candidates on the ballot. Benjamin Tipton and Tracy Walsh and Sarah Elizabeth Wesley were chosen to serve on the Kent City Council. Most of the levies on this ballot did pass, including the Streetsboro District levy. In Summit County, Issue 1 and Issue 2 were able to pass resoundingly. For Akron City Council, Frank Wilson was elected over Alicia Reynolds. In Stowe County, Elizabeth Howsky was elected to court municipal judge. For Stowe County Council, Kim Young, Kyle Herman, and Kyle Fieldman were elected to represent the city. Most of the levies and issues on the Summit County also passed. And over in Cuyahoga County, Brooke Park Thomas Floor, David McConkle, and Brian Poindexter and Lou Modick were all elected to be on the city council. In Parma, Robert Erlichel was elected to be a council member over Andy Schofield in a close race, winning by only 70 votes. And Cleveland, Cheryl Witcher was elected to be a municipal court judge. Ashtabula did not pass their school levy on issue 34 by almost 3,000 votes. For Cleveland mayor election, Justin Bibb was re-elected in a landslide over Levine Gore. Gabe received over 74% of the votes, allowing for him to remain in office for another 4 years. Bibb said to his reporters that he is thankful to his supporters and that the best is yet to come. Bibb focuses on his time as mayor as being to stop violent crime and his goal is to continue relationships with police. The results of many of these elections may impact the future of laws and regulations, so make sure in the future you don't forget to vote. Elections yesterday didn't just happen locally. There were elections that occurred all over the U.S. and could impact citizens around the world. Now, Evan, what do you have for us about these national elections?
Thank you, Ryan. We've talked local, but let's head to the national election news where we see a lot of fresh faces win their polls. The national government race came with a huge Democratic presence, where Virginia found a new governor, former Rep. Abigail Spanberger, who also became its first female chief executive. In New Jersey, Representative Nikki Sherrill won the governor's office. Both these candidates were Democratic. Early results suggest new ways Democrats are winning. Their margins have been soaring as opposed to 4 years ago, especially in growing suburbs. In a new look for New York last night, CNN projected that Democratic Representative Zohran Mamdani would win the race for New York governor, and they were ultimately correct. The 34-year-old beat former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who wished Mamdani well after admitting he had lost the election. Mamdani will be the first ever Muslim mayor in New York, in addition to first South Asian to hold the office at his young age. Pennsylvania voters approved the continuation of 3 state Supreme Court justices, giving the court a 5-2 Democratic majority. Justices Christine Donahue and David Weck won another 10-year term. Justice Kevin Doherty will continue to serve until she reaches the mandatory retirement age of 75. The state's judges and justices must stand for retention every 10 years, where voters can determine if they want them to continue. Yesterday, California voters passed Proposition 50. Known as the Election Rigging Act, the ballot replaces the current congressional map to help Democrats gain seats in the 2026 midterm elections next November. This comes in direct response to redistricting in other states to benefit Republicans. 63% voted yes to allow the new state to use the new maps in 2026. That's all we have for the national end of the election. Ryan now has more on the government shutdown.
Thanks, Evan. The government shutdown, you guessed it, is still in full effect, hitting a record 36 days without any agreement in place. Although the shutdown is still in place, lawmakers say that they have plans to end the standoff. Republicans' plan wouldn't end the Affordable Care Act, subsidized Democrats want, but it would allow a separate vote on them. However, that vote may struggle to pass in the Senate.
42,000 jobs were added to the economy last month. That's around 4,000 more than leading estimates projected. This comes from employment company ADP, as the usual report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics is unavailable. Their report from last month only added 22,000 and saw a rise in unemployment to 4.3%. Following that report, this year's third quarter delinquencies rose to the highest levels in the past decade.